Hello, Megan and Naomi. So I did this video in case that you have any doubt of how to start working. Remember, in the first section, you only have to draw the bristle. So you can go here to Microsoft Teams. Then you will have, you can go to the section of cell biology. And then you go here to data. And in data, you will have the data for the other insects. And here you will have to divide the species between you two, and I'm going to show you some of the species that you have first. So here you just have to measure the bristles. So here you have some bristles that you can measure. Yeah, here there is. So you don't have to measure all of them, of course. You can measure 10 or 15, and I will show you in a second how to do it. Uh, Let me show you another one. Here in the tarsus, you can also measure some of them. And here you can measure also some of these bristles of different sizes, again 10 or 15. And you can do that with the different species. So uh, let me show you another one. I might show you this faster. Okay, so here, for example, you can measure these ones. You can measure the different bristles here. Again, try to find pick some that are different. So some of these ones that are big and some of those ones that are small. And you can do that with all the different species that you have there. Uh, Now, um, the next step that you have to do is so you go open your ImageJ, download the pictures. So let me show you an example. So here I already download the pictures from all the projects. So this one is yours. And for example, you have to measure this one. You want to measure one of these ones. And you go to open the picture in ImageJ. So here is, let me close a few things that I have open here. Okay, so now I go to ImageJ, and for example, I have this one here. I open that image, and I also have this. So the first thing that I have to do, if you want, you can go to the PowerPoint presentation, is to go and set the measurements. If you remember, you just go to Analyze and Set Measurements. And I'm sure that you know that you have all these values, so you should get them. Then you set the scale. In your case, the scale are for X or 10X. So here you have the 10X. And here, so you have to use this number. So set scale. And in this case is a 1.2 thing is that one. Let me copy it in case. Okay, and one here, and micrometers, and this is done. Then you go to the third step, and in the third step, you just have to play with adjust. Let me show you how to do it. So you go here image, and adjust the brightness. And what I want is that you see if there is any way that you can that the bristles will look that they are easier to measure. Yeah, so for example, if you move this one, definitely this is not a good idea. But let me use the hand to move this one. So you can, for example, this one is a good bristle to measure. This one is very easy to detect. This also is easy to detect. This one is easy to detect. And you can play with this to see which one is the best way to measure them. So this one was the third step. Now let's go to the fourth step. Just you double click here in the pencil, and I suggest you to have 4, for example. And then the fifth step is very easy. Go to color pick. So you go color pick, and I said go for red. Very easy. Then trace it, and if you remember, I said trace it from outside. So in your case, there is no rows of bristles like this one, so it's easier for you. And for example, let's trace this one. So we go okay, and sometimes I just make dots that can help me to show the way. You can just draw the line. And yes, so I try to measure, and if I made a mistake, I just go Control Z. I have one Control Z, and oops, that is fine. The important is that I that I don't go inside. Now, and for example, so here I kind of made a mistake. Here is okay, maybe this can go more inside. Here maybe I can go and add more. Sometimes zooming in can make life much easier. So yes, I think this is good enough. And this is the first one. Another one that we can do is this one. Going to do it relatively fast, so this tutorial doesn't take forever. Let's do it again. That is okay. Hand, maybe this one. And let's measure this one too. Okay. Oh. You know, as you have a scale that is smaller, maybe it's easier if you get very close because you have pictures in 4x. Okay, so okay, let's try this bristle. Okay. Okay, so let's suppose that you have these bristles and you measure 10 or 15 like this. Pick some of them that are different, like this one. And the next step, when you're done, in your case, you need to do it every other bristle. What you need to do is, I suggest that you save it. So you go save as with this format, and then if you have saved it, later we can, if there is a mistake or any problem, you don't have to repeat all the labeling. I suggest that you just have the same color, all name plus color, and save it. And then here you can close the computer and you have no problem. You can reopen that figure, that image. Then you can go to the next slide. This is pretty easy. So let's go to analyze, sorry, image, adjust, color balance, and look, super easy. If you move some of these things, the colors will change. Let's reset it. You have to have this in all, and after you have this in all, now you can play with the play here with this with the colors. So let me show you. Just have it here, and if you move this one here, you will see that this is going to disappear and you're only going to have your bristles. So it will make life much easier later. So you can apply, making sure that, so for example, this is not a good idea. You look for the place that is the best for you. You have to be careful to not disappear also the red ones. And then you apply. Then you have sometimes, okay, in some pictures, if I wrote like T1 or T2, in your case, I didn't do it. So you don't have, if you find anything here in the picture, for example, there is anything that you need to delete, that is, it was not able to be deleted, so you just, that it was not able to be removed with the color threshold tool, so you just go there, click, pick the color white, and paste the color as you did in the previous tutorial. Then click here, and now this square is gone. If you keep this rectangle, this tool, you will only measure or do the changes in that region. So just click in here, and the rectangle is gone. Then you go and make it binary. So you go to process, make binary, and when you make it binary, you are ready to start doing the measurements, and you just do the same thing that you did during the embryos. So you go to analyze particles. Here the main difference is that you can go to 0, it's fine. You have all the other measurements, record starts, outline, and here you have the measurements. Let me zoom in. So here you have the 4th one, the 5th one, and the 6th one. Why? Because previously I created another tutorial and I forgot to delete the data. So let's delete it. Okay. Let me clear all the results. But if you see here, you see all the results. Here are the ones that you just from the tarsus, and here are the one from another Drosophila species. This way it appears 4, 5, 6. But if I delete that and I do again those things, record start. So here you will find that they are, I go to image A and zoom in, and you will see 1, 2, and 3. You can have 10, 15 bristles. And and then you can proceed to copy and paste all that data to Excel. Mhm. So you can have a tasks in your cases are slightly different. There is no leg one, leg two, and leg three. They could be tasks tibia, yeah, per species, and just a suggestion, write the name of your sample. So let's copy it. Um, so let's suppose we copy all your samples. Mm, and here you have the name of your sample. You can put it here. So we know that this is your sample. And you can have here, instead of leg one, you can have the name of the, I don't know if I think this was his tarsus, and then you can have femur, and we can, and here you can have the save it as the name of the species, as we already discussed, and later you can put all the data into one, all the data from these three sections of the leg in one Excel table, and later we can make the figures. So 13th step is the one of the sample that I showed to you. The next step 14 is to have that in tabs, and then you create a tab where you put all the data from these species together, and later you can add a column and say this is from the femur, this is from the tarsus, and that's all. If you have any doubt, let me know.